What up, dudes and dudettes? I'm here today to go over my top 10 Blu-ray releases of 2022. And let's just go ahead and get on with it because you don't want to listen to me talk anyways. And I just felt like doing this because I really like movies and I just want to talk about them every day, all day. Sleep movies, eat movies, drink movies, and make movies. There's that last one. I like that. Anyways, we're going to start off with Scream Factory because they fucking suck this year. There wasn't anything that was remotely good enough except Alligator. This is a cool ass movie if you like creature features, but this is not saying much for Scream Factory because all the releases this year were 4K re-releases of movies that they've already released in the past. I just put Alligator on here for pity. So here's Alligator. Can't go wrong with it. If you've never watched it, there's some cool people in this movie, and it's better than Jaws, because I think Jaws is boring, so you could deal with that. This movie's not that fascinating either, but here we are. Jaws, number 10. Number 9, we are going to go with an Australian release. I think the reason why this is so low on the list is because how much the price point was. And it's a great fucking movie. The packaging's wonderful. It has everything you ever fucking need for this movie. So I don't know how much it could get, how much better it could get besides maybe a 4K release, but fuck that. We don't need it because this is the ultimate edition of The Wicker Man. This is a dope edition. It has a soundtrack. It has 3 cuts of the film. It has an entire disc of nothing but special features along with more special features on all the other discs. It's really awesome. If you love packaging like I do, this is definitely something you're going to love. So that's the reason why it's number 9, because that price point kind of hit it, because $100 for this was really steep. I'm glad I bought it, but goddamn. That was number 9. Number 8 is a re-release, but not for this company. I love this movie because of the soundtrack is what I first started listening to when I was getting into the industrial style of music, and it has a little bit of nostalgia for me because I remember like first getting into Nine Inch Nails and getting into Marilyn Manson and stuff. The soundtrack of David Lynch's Lost Highway is what really introduced me into the world of music, because this soundtrack for this movie is fucking phenomenal. And if you've never seen it, highly recommend it. It's David Lynch, so you know you're going to be in for a confusing time, but also feel fulfilled. But at the same time, you're going, what? But then you're in love with it. The soundtrack really puts you in there. You got Nine Inch Nails song, The Perfect Drug. You got Marilyn Manson song, Apple of Sodom, which is my favorite Marilyn Manson song. So that's what's so fucking cool about this movie. But besides the soundtrack, I mean, the movie's fucking phenomenal too. But highly recommend it. This is the Criterion 4K release. Patricia Arquette, can't go wrong. That was number 8. Number 7. I'm putting this on the list because I found a new love for one of my new favorite directors. I'm not saying the movie is my newfound love. I'm saying the director's a newfound love, because I only started watching him last year. And so I was diving deep into his filmography. And with Arrow, I love Arrow, they have been putting out a lot of his films. And this is what is number 7, I think I'm on, is Enter the Void. Not only is this packaging fucking phenomenal, the movie is wild. If you like that existential crisis style shit where you're just an orb running around and going through the world and seeing how your absence is affecting people, this is why I recommend for you. Gaspar Noé, when he was filming this film, was super high and he wanted to see what it'd be like to try to film while he was super high. So like a Hunter S. Thompson style vibe. Instead of not writing a book, he's filming an entire movie. Super good movie. It's long. There's 2 different cuts. I recommend watching the director's cut because it adds more to the story. It's just really cool, so you should watch this. This was number 7. Number 6 is a great movie, and I love it so because it's one of my favorite directors and somebody that definitely inspires me, is Robert Eggers' The Witch. How can you not love this release from Second Sight? All the special features, all the cool supplements that are in it. It's super awesome. This cover art is beautiful. Highly recommend picking this up because Robert Eggers actually was in the editing room when they were editing for the 4K, so all the colors are corrected. There's cool interviews with everybody on here that wasn't on the A24 release, so I highly recommend you watch The Witch on 4K by Second Sight, because you thought the Blu-ray looked good, this 4K looks even better. And Second Sight's just killing it with all their releases. That was number 5. Number 4 just got released on Black Friday, and I'm entering it into my top 5 because it hasn't been released on Blu-ray here in the States, and that is Dario Argento's Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Super awesome Dario Argento film. This is the last in its series of the Animal trilogy, so you got like Bird with the Crystal Plumage and Cat o' Nine Tails. This is supposed to be the last one. They don't interconnect or anything, but it's a super great giallo film, and I highly recommend picking this copy up. If you missed out on the Black Friday, I assume that you'll be able to get it without the slip, which you just get that normal cover, but I love how creepy this guy is with the camera. It looks like me on a daily basis where I'm taking photos of everyone when we're filming a movie. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? That was great. So this is number 4. Number 3 is one of my all-time favorite films, and I'm glad it finally came out on Criterion. It's Pink Flamingos. You can never go wrong with John Waters, let alone one of the grossest films ever created, because Divine eats dog shit. Like nobody's done that before. Yeah. Anyways, you can't be mad about this being so high up on the list, because if you haven't watched this film, it's fucking phenomenal. It's amazing that this movie, people give a shit about it. I don't know. This is a movie that gives me lots of inspiration just for the fact that John Waters just went out and did it, and it's just so goddamn weird, but people loved it and it was perceived well. So it's really amazing that something like this exists, and highly recommend picking up the Criterion copy of this. It has a lot of cool interviews. There's a little making of on it, so definitely check this out. I definitely skipped a number, so I think now we're on number 3. So that one was number 4. So let's just backtrack. We'll fix all that, and I ain't worried about it. So the real number 3 is another recent release, just came out this month in December, and it is the Ju-On set from Arrow. If you didn't see this coming, I don't know what to tell you, because goddamn, we have been needing this on Blu-ray. I was super happy when Arrow announced this, because I think we all need more Asian horror in our lives, because it's some of the best horror ever created. There's a reason why the American versions suck, because the Japanese versions are so amazing. So if you haven't picked this bad bitch up, highly recommend. It has all the Japanese ones. Super great packaging. It has a 4K, and it's Ju-On. Why wouldn't you fucking want it? It's just as good as the fucking Ring, if not better. Nah, I think I like the Ring better. Number 2 release. This one's a big one for me because it came out at the perfect time before I started filming The Grim Findings of Claudius, and that is Arrow copy of Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. They did have some issues with the transfer, and they got you corrected disc if you bought it before it got corrected. So yeah, that kind of sucks. That's the reason why it's number 2, but the amount of stuff that's in this, you have the entire, like, scene by scene drawn out on a book from the director, and just all the liner notes and all the interviews and all this stuff that's on this release is super awesome. This movie is amazing. Highly recommend if you've never watched, especially in this true crime age of where we're at with Netflix and stuff. Everybody wants to watch true crime shit. This is the best right here. You know, back in 1980 something, I want to say 7, but I think it's 6, but I could be completely wrong. Yell at me later, who cares. Michael Rooker as his finest. I wish he would do more shit like this, but it's kind of hard when you can't beat Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. And of course, number 1, if you haven't guessed it already, is my own film, The Grim Findings of Claudius. I wish I was joking, but how can I not put it at number 1? It's The Grim Findings of Claudius. Duh! It's the best fucking movie you've never seen. So make sure to pick up your copy, only $20 for a Blu-ray, or I could ship it to you for an additional cost. I also got digital copies, so let me know. But the great thing about this movie is that I had amazing people believe in me and took their time out to film this movie with me. You got Brian Papandreou, which is just phenomenal. He's one of the greatest actors I've ever got to work with, let alone see. act in front of my own eyes, because god dang, this guy kills it. And then of course you got Alice Winkler, which I've worked with before, and she's just so amazing. She's such a sweetheart, one of the nicest people I ever known. Just so awesome. So you got to check out my movie, especially with me talking about it with Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Super awesome. Great time. You see that mannequin on the back? It's fucking weird. So pick up your copy. And as it says, I like butts. So why wouldn't you want to buy it? So check me out. And that is Kyle's top 10 releases of 2022. Thank you.